They say kindness is strength, but kindness without strategy is just vulnerability. Real power, it's when your presence becomes so valuable, so rewarding, so consistent, that when you step away, the absence stings more than any insult ever could. In this episode of the Machiavelli series, we're breaking down how to build emotional dependence, not with manipulation, with precision, with timing, tone, and just the right amount of warmth, until they need what you no longer offer freely. Let's begin. Section 1. What is emotional dependence, really? Most people think emotional dependence is about weakness, but it's not. It's about pattern. We get used to how someone makes us feel, and when they consistently meet a need, attention, validation, peace, excitement, we begin to depend on them for it. That's where power is born. Not in taking, in giving. Because when you give consistently, people stop questioning your presence. They expect you to show up. And once expectation is formed, leverage begins. When you give less, they feel more. And that shift is where dependence forms. Section 2. A real example, controlled warmth. I had a friend, we'll call him Ethan. He wasn't the loudest guy in the room, but when he liked someone, he made them feel seen. Genuinely, not performatively. He'd notice things, small things, like when they changed their routine, or seemed off for a second, and he'd check in with a line like, "I can't tell if you're quiet or just calm today." It wasn't overbearing, just precise. People opened up to him fast because his attention felt rare, and once they tasted that presence, they wanted more. But here's the key. He didn't over-deliver. He gave warmth, then space, validation, then mystery, and people kept circling back trying to decode him. That's strategic kindness, not love bombing, not game playing. Just enough signal to awaken attachment, then enough silence to activate curiosity. Section 3. The psychology behind it. Let's break it down. This is about intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle casinos use. If you win every time, it gets boring. If you never win, you give up. But if you win unpredictably, that's addictive. Human bonding works the same. When attention is always available, it loses impact. But when it's selective and precise, it gains power. And the brain doesn't just crave the attention. It craves the moment before the attention, the uncertainty, the anticipation, the hope. This is where emotional dependence starts. Not when they get your validation, but when they start wondering when they'll get it again. Section 4. The turning point, pulling back. The key moment in all of this is not the giving, it's the pause after they get used to your consistency, after they start assuming your check-ins are guaranteed. That's when you disappear, not coldly but calmly. You don't punish, you don't ghost, you just slow down the rhythm. Let them notice the silence. It's not revenge, it's revelation. You're not teaching them a lesson. You're letting them feel what life is like without you in it, fully. And if they've come to depend on your presence, that silence will echo louder than any confrontation ever could. Section 5. How to apply this without becoming toxic. This is where most people get it wrong. They either give too much, too fast, or they pull away too hard, too suddenly. The strategy is in the balance. Give when it's least expected. Pull back when they want more. Say just enough to spark thought, then leave space for imagination. Examples. If they open up emotionally, don't flood them back. Say something soft, then let silence settle. If they ask for your opinion constantly, give fewer answers. Make your voice carry weight. If they start texting more, don't match pace. Let your replies stay measured. You're not creating confusion, you're creating contrast. And contrast builds craving. Section 6. A mistake I made. The overgiver. Years ago, I thought the way to be valued was to be overly available. I'd check in constantly. I'd listen endlessly. I'd try to fix, help, show up, even when it wasn't asked for. And in return, they pulled back, because I removed all tension, all mystery, all emotional independence. I gave until they didn't have space to want, And when I stopped, it was too late. They had already adapted to the overgiving. That's when I learned this. People don't chase what's always given. They chase what's earned, felt, and slightly withheld. Section 7. Ethical power. Kindness with boundaries. Let's be clear. This is not about manipulation. It's about management. You manage your energy like a rare asset. You share warmth without surrendering control. You connect, but you don't collapse. People should never feel afraid of you, but they should feel the loss if you step away. Kindness does not mean availability, and love does not mean self-erasure. You can be warm, you can be kind, you can be thoughtful, and still protect the part of you that cannot be accessed on demand. The observer's take. In the end, the most powerful bond is the one where your presence is missed, not expected, where your kindness is remembered, not assumed, where people understand that what you offer is real, but not free. They don't need to fear losing you, but they need to know they could. That's how emotional dependence is formed. Not through force, but through rhythm, through silence, through selective, strategic, and unforgettable presence. This is the Machiavelli series. Subscribe for more real psychology, strategic connection, and silent control. See the unseen. Control the game.